Welcome to Dave's Take. Today we're talking about Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, the new film about Bruce Springsteen. So Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere is exactly what I just said it is. It's another musical biopic, but this time it's about Bruce Springsteen, played by Jeremy Allen White. There's two things I want to be upfront about. The first is I don't know much about Bruce Springsteen. I don't know many of his songs, to be honest. I know like the most popular. I've of course heard like Born in the USA and songs like that. And also, I think I talked about this in my Complete Unknown review, but I'm kind of getting tired of these musical biopics. It's not like I don't like musical biopics. There are some really great ones. I just feel like this type of movie is almost getting exhausting. Like they're pulling at strings to get more musical biopics made because I think they do decently well at the box office, and also they do really well at awards season. And I'll be honest, I wasn't super impressed by this movie. It's totally fine. It's not bad, but I don't think it's really anything great. The thing that really stands out for this film are the performances. I mean, Jeremy Allen White is spectacular here. He does all the music himself. He sings, he plays harmonica, and when he has to give those emotional scenes, like he has this stare to him that is just so mesmerizing. He is fantastic here. And I was a little worried he was just going to play Carmy from The Bear in this role. And I really love that show. And I love that character. But I was scared he was just going to do that, but make it like Bruce Springsteen. Not at all. There's a couple scenes that, that might flash up a little bit. But overall, I just thought he was perfect for this role. And you could tell he really committed to it. He is by far the best part about this movie and elevates what he can. And also Jeremy Strong is great here. He plays, I think, his manager. And this, I guess, is a mild spoiler that I'm going to say, so fair warning, but I don't really think it's a spoiler. I feel like in a lot of these musical biopics, we always get that cliche storyline of the manager or the agent, someone who's just sort of power hungry and leeches on to this talent, takes advantage of them. It was just nice to see in this movie that this guy was really ride or die. It felt like Jeremy Strong was someone he could really trust, someone who seemed like he actually cared about Bruce. He wasn't someone who was just happy he was successful. He genuinely wanted to make sure Bruce was doing the best he can. And you really felt that from Jeremy Strong's performance. And I do think how the story is told is probably the best way you can tell a Springsteen movie, because this film is really revolving around this album he made back in the early 1980s, Nebraska. And it's an album that really showcases some of the trauma that Bruce has gone through his whole life, some of the stuff he's just burying deep down. And this is the only way he can really express himself. And those are the parts of the film that are really interesting and really showcase Jeremy Allen White's performance. And there's many elements to that I found really interesting, where it's like you have this vision for something, you care about it so much, you need it a certain way. You can't change anything. It has to be perfect. It has to be the way I envisioned it. It's seeing an artist truly know that his form is great, and seeing that type of stuff I really do find interesting. But unfortunately, it was honestly kind of hard to stay engaged with this film. This plot isn't really super interesting, so sometimes it's hard to stay invested with this story unless you are like a diehard Bruce Springsteen fan. I think those types of people probably will love this movie and find it really fascinating and not be bored by 1 minute of it. And yeah, like I said before, I do find some of the stuff that Bruce is dealing with and how he expresses himself pretty interesting. I just don't know if there's a full movie for that, especially a movie that's about 2 hours long. There is conflict here, yes, and you do feel it and you understand where Bruce is coming from, for sure. But like I said, it's not super engaging to where I don't know if this really needed to be made into a movie. And that's just kind of where we are now with these musical biopics. Like I said before, there are great ones. There are ones that for sure need to be made, but they're just somewhere I almost feel like they're grasping at straws. Like, we got to make a biopic about this person. Everyone knows who that person is and some of their music, even if there isn't something entirely or super interesting to make it into a movie. But I do appreciate Scott Cooper's approach, the guy who directed this film. It does feel like this is almost like the Nebraska version of the movie. Like, the album is called Nebraska. This almost feels like the film version of this because it does feel a little different. It doesn't feel super mainstream. And I do applaud the director and the filmmakers for making a film like that. But I can't deny that I was bored throughout a lot of this film. I didn't find it super interesting. What elevates this film are the performances with Jeremy Allen White, Jeremy Strong. They're both fantastic here. Specifically with Jeremy Allen White, there's a lot he has to do when it comes to the emotions and some of the things that Bruce does to really express himself. And knowing that this album is kind of his baby, he needs to be perfect. And that's the type of stuff in this film I find the most interesting, the type of stuff that really works for me. But overall, the film felt like it was trying so hard to justify its existence. If you're a big Bruce Springsteen fan, I'm sure you're going to love like every minute of this. If you're just a casual music fan or a casual movie goer, this is one I don't know if you're going to be super impressed by. I'm going to give Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere 6.5 Davey Daves. You definitely can tell that studios are pumping these out too because of award season. Because I would be shocked if Jeremy Allen White doesn't get nominated for at least like a Golden Globe. I can obviously see an Oscar as well. But at the same time, I wouldn't be super surprised if he wasn't nominated, but he probably will for sure. I feel like that's like the reason why they make these films at this point. But whatever, whatever. So, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more Dave Takes.